Hello, everybody.
Wow.
It's Monday morning. Hey, I'm excited for today because we have a special guest coming on. Today's the last day of the month for Monday.
No, it's
The
not.
last Monday
Yes,
of the month.
that it is.
Absolutely. Who knew that this month would fly by? Doing the Sacred September actually made me really focus on what was happening in the here and now. And that usually the weeks kind of drag on lately due to the fact that we're still in quarantine. We're not able to live our lives kind of the way we used to. And being able to stay on top of Sacred September and kind of check off those days really made me stay focused on the month. And now it's almost over, which means my birthday celebration will finally come to an end on what Wednesday is the last day of the month.
We've only had 4 parties.
It's fine. It's fine. 4 quarantine parties.
Yeah.
Which meant I just partied by myself at home with the dogs and, the kids. So anywho, today we are going to be doing a giveaway, ladies and gentlemen. So if you call in today, it's 1-800-930-2819. There'll be a giveaway for you for the third caller. Now, since it's the end of the month and it's our sacred spaces, which we are doing the last Monday of every month, we are working with our clients and helping them create a space that resonates with them on a spiritual level. So we're not talking about feng shui. I only know a couple of things about feng shui. We are talking about setting them up with their spirit team and working solely off the energy of the space along with their client's energy. And sometimes it might even be the other individuals in the home, depending on what the client's looking for. So we are looking at taking them back to a space of serenity. We're talking about emotionally and physically. And that's when we got a call, actually from a good friend of ours named Lisa. And she was in need of a spiritual makeover, which she didn't even realize at the time that she had called. So what that means is that she called us out actually to do some paranormal investigating on the property. And it kind of morphed into this complete spiritual makeover, which was, exciting to see. We could do 2 things at one time with her. The tricky part of this is that it wasn't her own space.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got the idea of portable sacred spaces.
Yeah, because so often, I don't know. It's people are under the impression that they can only have a sacred space in their homes or a little corner in their house or whatever it is. And that's really not the case, because there's a need for sacred space anywhere. It could be in your car. It could be you have to spend time at other people's houses, or as in Lisa's case, when she has to take care of her mom at her brother's house. And it's not really her space, but she has to spend a lot of time there. And so it was a matter of, okay, how can we fix this?
Exactly. So with Lisa also, she is caring for her elderly mother, right? So she also needs to keep up on her day job. She needs to make time for her own self-care, all the while being under her brother's roof, because her brother's actually caring for their mother in his home. And this was out in Ramona, California. And I know from living out there for a little over 2 years that area has activity. And in the home that I had lived in, we heard voices, we had things move around. I had pictures actually taken off the walls and put next to the bed. All cool stuff we're going to get into next month for Paranormal Month. But I know the activity out there. So it was very important for us to be able to help her energetically and see what energies were around. But it really turned out to be such a positive session with her at the table. And so I want to know from you, what was the first impression of that space that she was working out of, just to even connect for work, for her day-to-day job?
When you walk in, it was a nice house and it was a nice family. But you can feel it when you walk in. It's a heavy, I don't know, there's like uncertainty. And it was just sort of a high stress environment. And it's kind of like, you walk into, you can walk into a Target on any given day and it's like, you kind of feel the energy, but then you walk into a Target on Christmas Eve it's something different, and it's like buzzing, and it's just like you can just feel those energies. And when you walk into Lisa's house, it was a heavier feeling, and some sadness mixed in there, and emotion and stress, and it didn't make for a very calming environment.
The, the tricky part is that you have to have permission from the homeowner. So we do not walk into a space if we do not have permission from the homeowner. Yet her brother was very open to us coming and seeing because he had been feeling, and he may not be on the woohoo side of life here, but he was feeling different energy around, and it was making him a little uneasy. And the fact that they had a roommate and their elderly mother, who's going through dementia and sundowners, that can actually stir up even more energy within the home. So he was not at the location when we were there, but he did know we were coming. We had permission to enter in, kind of like Twilight. We had to have the permission to enter in the front door. But with that, what caught my eye is as I had the equipment out, you actually started talking to her about her and her energy in that space.
Mm-hmm.
And you started connecting her with different angels and how to call them in. So how did you approach that topic with her about making a date with spirit?
You could just tell that she's kind of at her wit's end a little bit. She's tired. She's been doing this a long time. She doesn't know how much she travels every day, and it's not it's a long day. We'll just say that. It's a long day. So we focused on how can we make the day better for her in that space, because obviously there's not another option. So she has to be there. She has to spend time there.
Mm-hmm.
And so it became a matter of, okay, well, how can we lighten your energy, fix things a little bit? And so we started focusing on things that she could do personally, if you take just like internally, rather than focus so much on, you know, the place that she has to be.
And I like that because that was something that we created with our mediumship students,
Mm-hmm.
was making that date with spirit and, setting that time aside to be able to connect. So before she even gets to the location, in order to start that creation of her sacred space every day, she's down there 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, half a day to three quarters of a day to sometimes a full day, depending on her brother's schedule. She is sitting in that space and she's working, and she's also, on the phone for personal reasons, and just she's living in that space. And yet she only put herself in a room the size of a dining room, right? At a square dining room table. And she didn't even take up the entire room. It was just that table that she was like, this is my space. I don't move from this space. I don't have any reason to move from this space. I don't really go in the living room. She could still see her mom and interact with her mom, but she had claimed that as her space in her brother's home, and yet still felt so uneasy, so disheveled, and tired. I mean, her energy was so drained, and that's not the Lisa that we know. That's why calling in your angels is so key in the morning, or your spirit team, or just, hey, everybody listening, anybody who wants to come in today and help me work through some of this energy, bring my energy up, raise that vibration. Like attracts like. So she's looking at manifesting all these cool things, and yet her energy is way down here, right? So we want to make sure that we are keeping her energy high as well, also so she doesn't get sick,
Mm-hmm.
because that drains her energy out as well. So we came in to help her. We came in for one reason and left helping her with two, bringing that clarity to both sides of it and helping her realize that it was time for her. So when we come back from our break, what we're going to do is we're going to have Lisa call in, because obviously she's multitasking. And so she's going to pull over and chat with us for a few minutes about how she recreated the space, how she brought some things from home in order for her to feel like that space was hers and to allow herself to be in that moment. And, what it takes for her every day to get up. Because can you imagine too, you're sitting there watching a loved one of yours, whether or not your relationship was all hugs and kisses and, let me put that band-aid on your boo-boo, or maybe it was a little bit more of a trying relationship, but that's still a parent. That's still a loved one who's sitting there with you day in and day out, and you're watching them deteriorate. You're watching the mind go. Dementia, Alzheimer's, sundowners, those are very hard diseases to watch someone have to go through. And I know from my own experience, my dad took in both my grandmothers into his home and gave them each a bedroom. And one had dementia and sundowners, very similar to Lisa's mom, and the other one had Alzheimer's. and how hard that is on a person energetically. And she has no one to step in and give her a break, as her brother does not either. So we had to shift some of that energy in that house, in that space. How do you think she's going to be today? We haven't really talked to her much since we created that final part of it.
I think she's going to be good. Lisa always comes through. She bounces back. So
she really does. And she's an inspiration to so many other people. And she really carries the family. She carries the family. And when we can't do that because we're so involved in our own energy and the energies around us, we also start to feel guilt and sadness, right? And not being able to connect on that level either. So stay tuned. Caller number 3, by the way, we're doing our giveaway, 1-800-930-2819. We also love Facebook questions. That was fun last week when we had those. You can also find us on YouTube at Shades of Spirit, and then our Facebook page and Instagram, Shades of Spirit LLC, for all sorts of cool things we're doing this month. So give us a couple minutes for
Are you going to talk
break.
about your October special?
My October special. I'll talk about that at our next break.
Okay.
All right, you guys, we will see you in a few minutes with Lisa. Thank you. Welcome back, everybody. Psychic medium Jamie here.
Spiritwalker Nicole and our friend Lisa.
We do have Lisa on the line. So we are going to... we're connecting with Lisa because we want you to kind of go over with us after we came out for the initial paranormal investigating and then flip the tables on you to work on creating your own personal portable sacred space. How do you feel the overall energy of the space was before you called us, and now how does it feel after you've done this for a few days?
So I actually only did my own space for one day so far. Well, 1.5, but it definitely felt different for me personally at the table. And ironically, when I was in the office working before this whole COVID and my parents' stuff, my desk was full of pictures. I mean, people would laugh because there was literally no space for anything but pictures. And so when you talked about me setting the space up as mine, the very first thing I thought of was to bring pictures. And so that made a huge difference.
You can connect with your loved ones on that level. You see things that make you happy and raise that vibration. And that's what we were looking at, of just trying to create that space to where you could sit down and not be like, oh my gosh. And you could sit there and be like, okay, I got this. I'm feeling stronger. I'm feeling a little more empowered in this space. I know that it's going to be a long day, but I can do this. I want to kind of touch base too with the guidance that Nicole gave you and having that time to sit down with her and really have her ask you some of those tougher questions and having to kind of face those head on that spiritual level while she was connecting with you and your team.
Yeah, so obviously I love readings. I love guidance. I take them all to heart. And Nikki started giving me all these archangels to call in and how to do it and when to do it so that I wouldn't forget to do it. And I had to write them down because, like, I wasn't going to remember. I only knew, like, 3 of them. And so I wrote them all down. And now I use my fingers when I call them in the mornings because I definitely did that immediately because I know there's 8 I need to call in. And so I was using my fingers. Oh, no, I'm at 7. I'm missing 1. And so I literally joked with Nikki, but I said it. All the archangels that Nikki wanted me to call in, these are the ones I need. And the very first day that I did it, I asked for 2 things. I asked to laugh, heartily laugh at something during the day, like just deep laugh. And I asked for the word angel, a picture of an angel, like so on a truck, on a street sign, on anything. And my brother texted me something about his dirty microwave, which literally I laughed so hard I almost peed. And then when I talked about it later in the day, I still laughed so hard. And so I was like, thank you. Oh, my God, that was hilarious. Ironically, it was that it was dirty, and he cleaned it, which it just floored me. And so I just, like, totally laughed out loud. It was great. And I was listening to the radio, and I turned the channel, and as soon as I turned the station, a song came on that I know very well, and I started singing it, and the word angel came in, and I was like, wait, what? I never even knew the song said that, and it only says it one time. So it was Shazam for me, and so every day, including the weekends, I do call them in, and I haven't always asked for a sign, but I did ask for a sign on the first day, but I definitely asked for protection.
I love that. I love that. And finding those little things, those little messages within the messages is really what's key for any and all of us when we're in these spaces. And then I pull oracle cards for the space, not always for the homeowner. I will follow it up towards the end of seeing where the homeowner's energy is, but I want to know where the space resides within, the land, the energy within the home with all the people in there. And what was interesting was that card that I pulled was balance. And I don't know if you were feeling very balanced or anybody else in that home felt balanced either. So do you feel like now you're a little bit more balanced just even in your own energy when you walk through that door as opposed to kind of being off kilter?
Maybe a little more, but obviously it's not perfect. I still have a little bit of dread and doom, but I don't feel quite as low, and I definitely talk to the angels, and I'll say, okay, I'm starting to feel like a little anxious right now, and so it's definitely getting better. But it's a work in progress. It's not something that happens overnight, at least not for me. Even though I am an instant gratification person, which clearly I don't ever get instant gratification, but I am an instant gratification, and so I just have to be patient. But it's definitely getting better.
What I loved about your space when we walked in, though, was that you had a couple of things right in front of you. And that was your sacred September calendar that we made in the Release and Intentions workshop. And you did yours a little bit differently, and it was about the things that you're going to be doing for others, right? And that makes you feel good. Uh-huh. So not everything has to be about you. It can be about what we can do for others. So you had that right there as that constant reminder to keep your energy up because you were in that manifesting. You're always in a manifesting mode, which I love. And then you had, a book over there as well. So you brought a couple things in. But then as we just saw with the pictures that went through, what you added were pictures of family. We had you bring some fresh flowers in to breathe new life into that space because we needed you to find your own little nook within your brother's energy, the roommate's energy, your mom's energy, so you could breathe. Because I felt like when we walked in to say hello, I had to keep taking deep breaths because I knew you weren't breathing at all and bringing that fresh energy in. And then you have crystals all around as well. So how does all of that tie into kind of when you sit down now to do your work during the day? Like you're bringing certain stones in. Do you have a favorite stone like you think that you'll be using today that you would be having in your portable bag?
So my portable bag is actually my granddaughter's Minnie Mouse pink overnight bag. And I still brought almost all my stones. I just bring them out and I just set them out. So I don't have any rhyme or reason. I love rose quartz, but I just kind of put them out and for energy capturing. I am a little nervous that they're picking up energy there. They'll keep it, but there is a full moon coming. But I don't have any rhyme or reason. It just made it mine. I mean, it's the stuff I literally had at my office. It's not the same stuff, but at my office I had stones, I had flowers, I had pictures, and so I don't know why I didn't think of this stuff myself. It's probably because I don't want to move in.
Well, and that was the thing. You got angry almost to the point where I'm like, okay, so let's try and create that space to be your own space when you're there. And that was where I'm not moving in. It's almost like I feel like I have to stay. Right? And then once you kind of got it set up, do you feel it's a little bit different now? Because you can take all your stuff back with you. It doesn't have to stay in that space.
Right. Yeah, I packed it in my bag. I left the flowers because I had to go back on Saturday this week. And then I still left them because I'm going back on Monday. But I did pack up my flowers. My pictures and my stones. And I'll put them out today when I get there.
You're not taking the energy home if you can throw a selenite wand in with your stones, or even a stone of selenite. You can also, if you don't have black tourmaline on that table, that's going to bring, that negative energy into that stone and help process it before it gets to you. It is that barrier it's creating. But even if you got home and you put them on a selenite wand, or you sage them before you left, because I know you have sage at your brother's house, that's going to help clear that energy off of them each day. So you could walk out knowing that you've cleared your stones and you're not taking any of that energy with you back into your own sacred space at your place.
Oh, okay, good to know.
Yep. Because it's different than being at work where you're like, okay, now I know that, Tom came over and his energy wasn't so good. I'm going to take this one home. Definitely charge him. We have 2 full moons this month, so charge them, because it's going to make, that energy just amplified. But you could do that upkeep every day. And they're actually telling me too, I don't know if we even talked about this, is to sage yourself before you walk into your own home. Or grab a selenite wand.
Oh.
And selenite yourself. So just kind of run the energy over, and it's going to help take any excess energy off of you before you actually walk into your home. So now you know that your home is really free and clear of any energy from the property, from the people in the home, your own emotions that, it's tough to be in that situation when you're having to watch someone just, she's on those final times of her life right now. And you've got her with hospice and just having that space and energy. So when you walk out now, it's back to you being completely in alignment with your energy. So we've got a couple minutes left before we go to break. Any final words, Spiritwalker Nicole, for Lisa?
One of the things that you said, Lisa, was it didn't happen overnight. It's just, and that's all. We're not asking, or we're not expecting radical change overnight, right? That we're just be realistic, which is just little things every day, steps forward, progress, and that's great. That's something, and it's about, like we talked about, keeping the faith. You know what I mean? Keep calling these angels in. There is a light at the end of this tunnel, whether you see it or not. There is, and this is not going to last forever, and pretty soon it'll be back to the life that you the places that you want to spend time in, and the life that you want. You just got to get through this, and you will, because you are 100% one of the strongest people that I know, and you just got to, and you have us too, so, and your support system. So in addition to calling the angels, talk to your family, talk to your friends, let them know what you're going through. Let us help you. If I'd known that you needed to laugh, I would have handled that. Don't worry. So I'm proud of you. Just keep going.
Thank you
Thank you
so much, Lisa, for taking a few minutes this morning to share with everybody else, because we all need help once in a while. And so, if you're looking for that feng shui for people who are into, Chinese culture, and I have some things like a jade plant and certain things that I definitely resonate with that. But if you're looking for more of that spiritual connection, that spiritual empowerment, this is what we do. We go into your space, and we can do them virtually as well. Energy is energy. And we can help you create that space with your spirit team, with your angels, with your loved ones, with the space itself and the land. Because it's all about empowerment. It's about us tuning into our intuition. And at the end of the day, validating what you already knew, which I absolutely love. So stay tuned, because after the break, we are going to briefly talk about how we have fared on the Sacred September Challenge and our experiences on it and the last couple days of it. And then we want to talk about Paranormal Month, because that's one of my favorite times of year. So you guys can check us out at Shades of Spirit LLC on Facebook and Instagram, and we will see you after this break. You can also see that her chair is slightly moved, only because I set up the room differently today.
Over the chair.
I can't.
Woman.
I just can't, With that being said, setting up space, right? Okay, so we just finished pretty much, we've got 3 days left. We'll discuss those in a moment. Our Sacred September Challenge. Now, first of all, you don't have to do this only in September, right? These are ideas that you can incorporate in your life every single day, whether it be, you pick something from day 18 or you go back to day 1, right? And it can be a calendar that you can put up for yourself. And like I'm putting like put October on, but I think that if you can't, do this on your own I could talk, guys. That's fine.
Wow.
On your own computer, what you can do is that you can create your own calendar. So we offer a release and intentions workshop. It's once a month. And last month, well, actually this month for Sacred September, I sent out blank calendars to everybody. And part of our class was to be able to create our own personal energy elevation calendar. And so it could be taking ideas from here. It could be taking ideas that they were getting during the workshop. It could be taking ideas from the card pulls that we do during these workshops for each individual person, and being able to put that up for themselves. And it was going from the new moon in September to the new moon in October. And we were giving ourselves about the 30-day mark of being able to create and manifest within our own energy. So not taking Spiritwalker Nicole and I's ideas or ideas off the internet, but actually putting our own energy in, which is what Lisa had done. And so she kept it with her. She keeps it with her all the time so that she can refer back to her own sacred calendar. So I do urge you guys to do something similar if that resonates with you, right? And
you could do it on your phone too. Like you could set reminders every day. You could do it a week at a time if you don't have time to sit down there and plan out the whole month. It's just like little chunks and it makes a difference.
So with our Sacred September, it's funny because I actually asked the people for the Release Intentions workshop. And so who's following the Sacred September challenge? And I think 2 people were like, me. And it wasn't that they aren't really following it, just that they weren't doing it every day. And that's fine, right? It's about what calls to you. And the fact that there's simple tasks each day that we can do a few at a time. But again, don't allow yourself to be bombarded by the day-to-day activities, because you have to find that quiet moment for yourself every day. It's so important for us just to have that connection, even if it means that you take your cup of coffee outside and stand in the grass in the morning, or when everybody's finally asleep in the household, you go stand and look at the stars or the moon for even a minute and just connect with your higher self. So for me, the first one was easy. Day 1 was gratitude. I had no problems with that one. I loved that one because I could find all sorts of things that I'm already journaling, and I picked a couple of them out and I stayed in that vibration. I also love creating my own mantra. And it's funny because my mantra was, I am healing both physically and emotionally. That was it for this month. I blanketed that comment, right? And so with that being said, I was able to actually feel certain parts of my body and my emotions healing at the rate, and I gave it over to my spirit team. The active meditation I do daily, so I kind of checked that one off the box. I have to say that getting creative was my favorite one. She's rolled her eyes at me. So we did 2 different things this month, and that was the painting party with Ashley T, Art by Ashley, where she came out in the family and we did the painting. That one was an interesting one, but it gave us something different to do. And then this past weekend, we made Thanksgiving holiday fall wreaths, which I still feel like mine was so much better than everyone else's, but that's okay. But we worked together as a family. We came together to do it. We were laughing again, raising that vibration, but I found I missed that creative side of myself. What about you?
What about me? I like anything to do with music. So I really like the connecting with music, which was on your birthday, actually, Friday the 4th, because it just shifts my energy and it takes me to a better place. And I really liked it. And then doing something you like, that was cool too, because it's just like, there's no rules in this, but it was just do whatever. Don't worry about what other people think, what they say, just do something that you like. And then obviously connecting with nature, getting out, being able to go to the beach, and just, obviously socially distancing, but just
we went on the botanical gardens, something new that you found. And that was really cool to be able to go outside and just connect with the earth and allow ourselves to see something new and get lost about 65 times. All you wanted to do was go see.
I wanted the meditation area, but it wasn't very easy to find.
No, it wasn't.
So then by the time you get there, you're like not in the meditation space. You're just pissed.
That's why we're doing active meditations. So for the next 3 days, the last 3 days of Sacred September, right? Today is pull a spirit card. If you don't have oracle cards, spirit cards, you can do a couple different things. The first one would be find an inspirational quote that you like, and then go through and scroll through other ones that pop up, right? We can Google images, you're reading them. But I want this all to be by chance. So I want you to say, all right, Spirit team, come on in, humor those crazy ladies on, Shades of Spirit, and help me find a quote that matches my energy today and help it elevate even more. And just scroll through and then kind of close your eyes and just stop and touch one picture. And that's going to be your message for the day. Another way you can do it with your family. So I know so many of us are still in the homeschool mode, is have everybody write out something positive affirmation, put it in the jar, and everybody, mix it up and pull one out. If you have your spirit cards, pick a deck that calls to you and allow yourself to just hand it over to your spirit team. Again, it's connecting with your higher self, with your spirit team, with your angels, and bringing that energy in, and then just kind of hold that space with that energy for today. Fragrant smell.
Yeah, like if you think about it, you want to just a place that smells good to you. Like you walk into Starbucks, you get hit with that coffee smell. And if you like that, it kind of just, oh, okay, I'm about to get some coffee. You go into like a bakery and you smell that, and, but like you go into a gas station bathroom, it's not the best. And it changes it's just like, ew. And it changes like your energy and you just want to get out of there. Same thing. If you're finding that the area that is surrounding you doesn't smell the best, change it. Bring in some fresh flowers, try some essential oils. I don't care if you Febreze the crap out of it, whatever. You want a place that you enjoy spending time in. That's the most important thing about sacred space and your sacred self, is that you actually want to hang out there and allow yourself to be there. And if it looks like garbage, if it smells like, you're not going to want to be there. It's harder to connect. You're just thinking of how you can get out.
That's funny, because what Lisa did was that she took in those automatic aerosol sprays into her brother's home and put them all throughout the home. And so I think they sprayed, what she say, every 36 minutes.
Yeah.
And that was because she just wanted something that smelled pretty, that did raise her vibration. So she was, unconsciously already on that mission of like trying to create that space. Subconsciously. That's what I meant to say. But with smell and the brain receptors, as soon as we have smells that really resonate with us, they take us and they bring us into that different vibration. So getting a diffuser, some essential oils are really key to be able to help us with that as well. And then day 30 is sacred space, finding something in your home to be able to create around that sacred space for yourself. So we have a Facebook comment.
I like it.
I love it. So Nancy O'Neill, thank you for watching and, letting us know this is a very touching and awesome moment, is that she's reminding us that our loved ones are with us no matter what. And she said, recently I was driving and felt the angel of my mom with me. I talked with her and then felt my dad's spirit join us. This gives me the chills. It was a route I can get anxious driving, and having them helped refocus me. So we can call to our loved ones. We can build that connection with them.
But that was her sacred space. Like that was in the car. She allowed it to come in. She was talking and they showed up, because that's what spirit does. No matter where you are, if you're thinking about them or you call to them, they're right there, whether or not you're immediately aware of it like she was, or sometimes it takes a little bit more time.
And that's finding that connection and knowing that her mom is there and talking to her, and then having dad come in the exact space that makes her a little bit nervous. I mean, it really does give me that full body chills, because they're there for her. And if we allow ourselves to step out of the ego process, then what happens?
Then spirit can come in.
And ego isn't a bad thing. It can overtake sometimes our energy, but allowing ourselves just to be present in the moment.
Well, there's so many times people will be like, no, that's just a coincidence. No, I'm seeing things that aren't there. And that's where the breakdown happens, because if you would just open yourself up and allow for that moment and then you really connect, rather than getting in your own way and blocking what would otherwise be a beautiful experience.
And it takes practice, and it takes trust. And it takes trust sometimes in the invisible people around us, right? So I will let people know, like, talk to the invisible friends that are around you. You can do it in your head. You can do it out loud. I have people that will be driving in the car and talking out loud, and I have other people that will just be talking to them in their own and their own mind, and allowing that energy to come in, which is, something that all of us have this gift. We all have psychic senses. We all have the ability to hear, sense, smell, even taste. It might be all of a sudden you're tasting your grandmother's chocolate chip cookies. That's the best family secret recipe ever. And you're like, where did that come from? That's because she's with you. That's because she wants to be with you. She wants to help you. And then think about where you're at in your own mind and allowing yourself to just be with her in that moment and share that experience. And the more that you do that, the more this gift grows and the more we become connected with others that have passed, our own spirit teams, and we just take it from there. So thank you so much, Nancy, for giving us that, because it's so peaceful. I just feel so peaceful with you right now in that energy. So coming up next, we're going to talk about Paranormal October. So excited for it. And we also still have a giveaway. So we're not really doing readings because we've only got another 15 minutes left, but the third caller that calls into Zach, you are going to receive a 30-minute reading with Spiritwalker Nicole and myself. So hopefully someone calls in for this today. So yes, a free 30-minute reading, 1-800-930-2819, and we will see you after this break. Welcome back, everyone. Psychic medium Jamie.
You like sing. You always sing us back.
I do. I can't help it. Yeah. It's been my lifelong dream.
Wow.
I don't think I'll be a Celine or a Carrie Underwood, but
you don't think?
No, but maybe I could just give a little bit of excitement and laughter to everyone watching right now. Thank you guys for tuning in today. We are wrapping up our show today, but on this segment, we want to touch on a couple different things. The first one is our announcement of my new show with Transformation Talk Radio and KKNW. So I'm actually going to have 3 more shows, which are my show solely. Shades of Spirit will still have our Monday morning shows at 8 a.m. So please keep tuning in to transformationtalkradio.com or on Facebook. But I have signed a contract to where I will be doing once a month a radio show with KKNW. And that is one of the AM radio stations out in Seattle. And then they broadcast that out to 25, I believe, FM radio stations in Australia. It gets made into podcasts as well. And then every other week, I will have an evening or late afternoon show on Transformation Talk Radio. And I believe it's going to be on Thursdays, and it's going to be a 5 o'clock show. So those of you that can't catch us in the morning can catch me in the later afternoon. And it's going to be same concept as here. We're still branded under Shades of Spirit, but I'm going to be talking about things that are a little bit more deeper, the level that I go down into working with spirits, talking about how being a mom and multitasking all sorts of different aspects of my life the past couple of years, and how I should have listened to my intuition. That's all going to be part of it. But I want to announce the name today because we've got the banner, we've got the domain name. So the show is going to be called Eye of Soul Radio with Psychic Medium Jamie. And the banners that Kim over at TTR created are so cool, guys. I can't wait to show you. Those should be out this week as well to start promoting the new show. But stay tuned for Eye of Soul Radio. And because we have the show launching in October, I've decided to do an individual reading special. So it's an hour reading through phone or Zoom, which is $88. Yes, the low price of $88. And that's because I want to get in with you guys. I want to celebrate the fact that this has been a lifelong dream to continue advancing what I do and being able to make that my sole career because I love doing it and I have that passion for it. And so I want to kind of give back to you guys as well. So that is,
How do they book with you, Jamie?
Oh, they book with me on, you can go to our website, shadesofspirit.com, and message us through there. You can call or text 858-684-7575, or message us on our Facebook page. I'm going to keep the same Facebook page, Shades of Spirit, and you can message me as well over there. And yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm super pumped about this because the show topics that are already coming together are just ones that really are hitting me in that heart center and being able to help you guys as well on that spiritual connection, all the while living the crazy life. I've got 3 kids. I know how this goes. We are all homeschooling, at the same time listening to my spirit team, connecting, and being able to help others. Big parts of my life and the passion that I have for that. And going into that, that's why we decided Paranormal October. And yes, okay, so it's Halloween. It's it's that time of month. I love fall. It's one of my favorite seasons, one of my favorite holidays. May not be able to do Halloween quite like we used to this year, but you know what? We're going to make it work. We're going to decorate. We're going to carve pumpkins. We're going to do all those cool things. But in the past 3 to 4 weeks, I have to say that energy has ramped up in a different way. And I have had, 5 clients in 3 to 4 weeks contact us about energy and out of the ordinary experiences happening in their own homes. Sounds, feelings, knowing that they're not alone, having spouses wake up to see somebody standing at the foot of the bed. And then when they blink, the person's gone, right? And it's a lot of it, I find from my own perspective, again, this is coming from my own perspective, is that because our energy is still very low as a society of everything going on in the world, that we are opening those doors to allow those energies be attracted to us, right? And in doing so, now they're hanging out in our homes and they're trying to get a rise out of us. And we are going into these places to help sort out what's going on and also empower our clients while helping out any of those spirits that are kind of lingering or sticking around. Because spirits can move forward, right? They're not stuck in boots that are stuck in the mud. They can be shown the light. They can be in a space where they remember and allow themselves to raise their own elevation to continue on their own spiritual path. But a lot of energies that pass in that lower vibration sometimes feel that they're going to be judged, that judgment day is coming, or that they're never going to be forgiven for the things that happen in their lives, or they passed in fear of passing. And so they don't want to move from that spot. So we go in and we help figure out what's going on. But the biggest part is about raising the energy of the home. So we are not going to allow our clients to feel like the energy in their home is running their lives. Now I have to stop right there because I'm so flippin' excited. I just got word we have our giveaway winner. So Zach, will you put them through? Oh, perfect. Patty is our giveaway winner. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, Patty. So we'll get your information. Zach will take care of that. We will contact you today to set up your free 30-minute reading. So thank you so much for calling in, you guys. That is going to be so much fun. But yeah, when we're doing paranormal investigating, we bring our equipment out. And I feel like sometimes it's cheating when we have in-tune psychic gifts because I already know where the spirit resides before I even get the equipment out, right? And then it's working with the homeowner and their families in order to empower them through knowledge of what's going on in that space. So what is your takeaway kind of with working with clients? We still have 3 more that I need to set up walkthroughs with this week.
I like bringing the equipment because if you're maybe not as psychically in tune yet, it's something you can see. Like you can see the equipment going off. You can hear the sounds that it makes. And it's sort of like validating. Like if they've been feeling some weird energy in this corner and then you bring the stuff and it all lights up, they're like, oh, finally somebody believes me. Because so often, other people in the house will be like, no, it's nothing. It's in your head or whatever. But you know something's going on. Or everybody does know, but they're just scared to talk about it, or they're scared to do anything about it. I read all kinds of things, and I read some woman was writing a story about it, energy being in her house, but she was scared to get rid of it because she didn't want to make it angry. And so all kinds of stuff like that. And that's about empowerment and just keeping positive, keeping in that higher vibration and having control of your space. And if you don't want something there, get it out.
We move it out. We help you move it out. That's the thing. And so it can be that I bring the Ting Sha bells in. We might have sage going on. We just worked with a family. And so we had 4 kids that we did different projects with on empowering them in that space because they have to be in there. And they went anywhere from preschool to 3rd grade, 4th grade. I can't remember. But allowing them to talk about it. Their family's very open to this, right? And if the family isn't very open to it, we have different ways that we work with kids in that as well. We're going to be doing a whole month on working with kids and helping them in that spiritual world and balance the spiritual aspects of themselves with the human aspects of themselves. Because our children are advancing at a much higher level and much faster than even those of us in that late 30s to early 50s. So if you have activity in your home and you have questions, definitely message us. Like, we could kind of tune in, see what's going on. Stay tuned though, because I can't wait for the first couple episodes, because it just shows you that you have all the power to be able to stand your ground in your own space. If you feel like there's something lower around you, and at the same time, it builds compassion for those that have passed that are maybe in fear, and it's overcoming that fear as well. So we want to thank you guys for participating in the Sacred September. Remind you that you can do this anytime, any month. Find that way to just connect with your higher self and your sacred self. We will start out Paranormal Month next week. I think we're going to be doing Lisa, so she'll be back with us one more time to kind of go over what we found out there and her connection. So we want to thank you guys very, very much today. Again, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, just type Shades of Spirit and there we are.
Subscribe on our YouTube, please. And we have our past episodes there. We have free meditations. Again, Jamie's got that awesome special coming up for October. And so take advantage of that. That's a really good deal.
All right, you guys, thank you so much. We will see you next week.